After Temba and Zoto had a huge argument, they ended up not talking to each other for days. Finally, on the third day, Temba asked where one of his shirts was. Oh, said Zoto, now you're speaking to me. Temba looked confused and said, what are you talking about? Haven't you noticed? I haven't spoken to you for 3 days, Zoto challenged him. No, said Temba. I just thought we were getting along. What an I suppose it's an inappropriate joke to start our conversation tonight because we're focusing on businesses owned by couples. But I'm sure our guests are not Temba and Zoto. Good evening and welcome to Talk with Rams Live. I'm so excited about tonight's Wisdom Wednesday topic, the good, the bad, and the ugly of husband and wife working together. Firstly, let me apologize for starting late. Technology took played a joke on our guests, but finally they got connected. We were patient enough and we managed to get them in. So please forgive us for that, but we're still gonna have 30 minutes of powerful content for you. So, if my clients or my guests were Temba and Zoto running a business together, that would be a disaster, don't you think? I mean, it would be a mess. It would be bad, as JJ Tabani would say. But it appears our guests tonight have conquered it all, or have they? Well, let us find out. But before then, let me give you some background. Every year, thousands, perhaps millions around the world join millions of others in starting their own businesses. Among these thousands and millions are couples. It may either be a couple that has decided to start the journey together, or one of the couples decided to join the other, to partner to bring their business because they need more capacity. The number of couples working together appears to be rising. According to an article by the Financial Mail of March 2019, an estimated 1.4 million couples ran their businesses together in the UK. In the same article, it is stated that 43% of small businesses are family run, in which 53% of managers share day-to-day management with a spouse. So they share both the bedroom and the boardroom. These are brave people indeed. There are no readily available stats in South Africa. However, anecdotal evidence suggests this may be well on the rise in this country again. Is running a business with your spouse a good idea? There is significant number of online articles in favor and against this. But tonight, we meet a couple who's going to tell us how it works for them. And we want to know from you, if you're working with your partner, how it works for you, or how it did not work for you. How many things failed, not only the business, because you work together. So we are joined by Nthabi and Tumi Teffo, finally, owners of well-made events and catering. Good evening, folks. How are you?
We are well, Rams.
Good evening, Rams. We are good. We are safe. That's all that matters.
You are well made.
We are well made.
Absolutely.
Very well made.
The name for a business. I love the name of your business. It's a very clever play with words. So as I understand it, Nthabisa, you started the business in 2013 as a side hustle. You were still working full time. The company started, as a house helper placement business. 2016, you left your job to pursue the passion. And Tumi, the good husband that he is, joined you in February 2017. It's been 4 years that you've been doing together. Now, let's start first with what is well made. What do you do as a business? And any one of you can choose to answer that. Maybe no. Let's get the person who started the business to answer it. Nthabisa, what is well made?
Well, Rams, good evening again. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Let me just give you a brief overview of who Well-Made is. I am the founder, not the co. The founder.
Yes, I like that.
Let's get back. No, on a serious note.
I'm
just checking if I'm still safe. I hope I'm safe. No, Well-Made was established in 2013. As you said, yep. I mean, we've been running for 7 years. We started off as a placement and cleaning services company where we were placing helpers, trying to find them jobs everywhere. So in simple terms, trying to create and contribute to the wider economy by creating jobs. We then moved to coaching these helpers into how to do proper cleaning because a lot of them had certificates, but it was just a paper without really understanding what is housekeeping. Then the employers and potential employers requested that we train them on how to cook. And that's when we took it further. So that's how the Well-Made events and catering was born. And by default, we then started servicing corporate companies because we are from the corporate side of things. So it was not intentional that we don't have a high percentage of servicing individual. We currently now focus on still the domestic placement, but obviously during COVID, we had to put it on hold, you know, for reason known. We now run a number of canteens, so offsite and on-site catering, meaning we cook in our canteen and distribute food, or we can actually cook in your canteen. That is if you have a license to do so. We also now recently moved to distributing food, you know, to hotels and institutions and so forth. So in a nutshell, that's who Well-Made is. We also offer culinary cooking class on a part-time and full-time basis.
You have to offer that service to Tutomboweni. Please do that. But anyway, let's move on.
Let him fix the grand story, then we'll do it.
So Tumi, tell me, how did you choose to go into business with Nutabisa? Was it circumstances or was it a business strategy? You know, were things that bad that you had to join your wife?
Rams, I didn't have a choice, to be quite frank. She came in one day, I remember it was around about August. She told me, I've had enough. She was working for one of the big banks and she said, I've had enough. I'm sick and tired of this. I cannot be making millions for someone else while our side business is struggling. So I'm leaving my job. And we had a fight. But eventually I gave in. And then obviously a few months later, I joined her in terms of running the business.
But I still want to know what made you join her? Was there something that needed you there in the business, or no to check out was you know?
Obviously, I was needed there to assist her in terms of the operational side of things, because you know she's more strategic in terms of implementing how the business must be driven. So I just came in just to assist her in terms of operation to ensure that we implement whatever direction that she wanted us to drive the business to.
How were the first days, Nthabi, when the two of you started working together in a business, no longer now just husband and wife, but now business partners?
Well, let's just say that's the good part. It was great. It was amazing. I mean, we were excited, you know, waking up early, going to work, seeing people lunchtime. I was in Sandton, by the way, at the time, just before I left my job. And you would see couples, date lunch and all that. And we used to dream about it, that, you know what, one day we'll run our own business and we'll go and have lunch together. So obviously when he joined, it wasn't just a matter of the fun side of things, but I saw potential in the business and I thought, you know what, I'm drowning here all alone. There is potential, join in. We started doing that. I started offloading and obviously, you know, giving him some of the work, and we started having our own contract to saying, these are your responsibilities, these are my roles and responsibilities.
I actually want us to talk about that. I want us to talk about that. So did you draw up contracts with boundaries, with all the agreements that have to be there, who earns what and how they earn it, where I start and where you end? And was it good for all of you?
It was. I mean, I must be honest that it didn't just start there, Rams. We started running the business together. One of the biggest mistakes that we all do as small businesses is we are together here. There are no clear lines as to who's responsible for what. So we just pick up and go on a daily basis because we're told that as a small business, you have to wear different hats. You know, we're just chasing each other, following each other. And certain things were not really completed or done, but until we found the company, I don't know if I'm allowed, but there's a company run by, it's a consulting firm, you know, as we were reading up and getting advice, we then decided to bring in the company.
You can mention them. We know we're not anti-business here. We're a business platform.
So,
we're not anti-business.
Great stuff, Rams. Thank you. I'm up for that. So we then found a gentleman by the name of Thabo Popokwani and Grace Otieno, whom I worked with at Nedbank Africa, So I then realized that these guys have left their jobs to start their own consulting firm, and they were quite good. I mean, they used to run the numbers, business development, and everything for your Mike Browns and them. So why not bring them into our business? Obviously, we were worried about cost. As a small business, you do not have budgets for such things. But because they knew us well, they said, you know what, guys, you've been running this business for 3 years while working. We are willing to come on board and assist you. So the contract that you are referring to was actually drawn up by them, you know, just to ensure that they hold us accountable. So we're not going to sit here and take all the credit. We had to bring in someone, because I know as small businesses, we tend to think I can run and be successful on my own, but we don't realize that most corporate companies are running these successful businesses because they have consulting firms, because they have accountants, because they have, even if you don't have the money to do so, but you can do bookkeeping. So that's how we.
Nthabi, I want you to say that 1 million times. Please repeat that 1 million times. I say that to small businesses, that the big boys did not grow by luck. They surrounded themselves with so much expertise around them to get them to the next level.
Most definitely.
We think we can do everything and grow, and that's why it gets so tiring sometimes, because we don't know enough. But anyway, let me not digress. And fortunately, I know KBK very well, so I can. I don't mind you mentioning his business. I've known him for.
Great stuff.
No, let me not reveal my age, but I've known him for just about 30 years. I've known him. So,
great stuff.
Disagreements. Look, we may make it sound romantic, guys, but it does get tense. How do you deal with disagreements? Because you may disagree in the bedroom. Okay, let's say in the kitchen. No. The other business is in the kitchen. You disagree in the bedroom. How do you manage the kitchen? Or how do you disagree in the kitchen without affecting the bedroom?
Rams, it's actually the other way around. We disagree in the boardroom, and for some reason it ends up in the bedroom.
I can guess that reason. Yeah, but continue.
And I must say, one of, just maybe to take it to tonight's topic is obviously the good, bad, and the ugly. If I look at the ugly, I must actually say that when you actually started, I was one of those people that used to procrastinate quite a lot. And you can feel her energy. She's very driven. She's one of those, because I'm one of those that but she's like, let's do it now. Let's get it finished right there and there. So those are the kind of things that led us to fight a lot, because she's quite driven, and she's results driven. So in terms of working together, she's very firm, but when it comes to business, she doesn't play, to be quite honest.
So I guess to add on that.
No, continue. This is your show. I'm just the facilitator. You talk, Nthabi.
You know your place, eh?
Exactly.
No. Just to add on what Tumi was saying in terms of the ugliness of it, I'm glad you mentioned that it's not just the grass is greener on the other side. You know, there's stress, there's the fact that we still have to go home together. You know, with us, obviously, we were spending a lot of time together, and we thought it would be simpler because we traveled together even before we got married. You know, he used to drop me off and pick me up. But what we forgot is there's an 8-hour gap that we don't see each other. You know, you spend most of your time at work. By the time you get home, we can make an example of the COVID-19 where couples had to spend basically the entire day
for the first
at home.
time in their marriage, they're spending time together. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was kind of the same situation where we are now finding, basically I got to know him better, where, as he said, he procrastinated a lot. And here I am frustrated because I wanted this business to prosper. And this man is actually, and the fights were hectic. It wasn't wake up tomorrow and everything is okay, to a point where would say, maybe you should go back to work. This is not for you. Maybe you should let me run this business. You know, maybe I should employ someone else.
And that was the turning point on my side to say, you know what, I cannot move from, in a way, running a business with my partner and going back and submitting my CV. So that was actually the turning point for me to say, you know what, I need to pull up my socks. This is for me. This is for my kids. This is our legacy. So I need to put in 110% for us to grow the brand. And the kids as well.
How do you deal with disagreements?
Well, now we deal with it better, Rams. I mean, at first, to be quite honest, we would just not communicate. You know, just
Oh,
sweep
you
it
did
under carpet,
photo.
hoping that exactly, you know, and fight about. I heard on one of your shows where you were saying a woman was asking, why is it that we always sit on the left? As you can see, I'm on the right. So when you look at the income statement, a woman is on the right, and this
The income is
business-
on the right.
and the expenditure side. So that was for you, Rems. You know. So
Well
now
done.
we talk about it. I'm going to. We now talk about it. We ensure that, and one of the things that has actually, obviously we have challenges and we find ways of mitigating the risks. But in terms of our relationship, what we've decided to do and agreed is that we must spend at least 90 minutes discussing our relationship, because we sometimes get lost into like discussing work, even when we are supposed to discuss our relationship, even at home. 5 o'clock in the morning, we wake up, we talk about work, which is the danger on its own. So our disagreement, we've decided, let's sit down, let's have a 90 minutes. And that 90 minutes is split relationship, business. And once we're done planning, then we can go ahead and hold each other accountable where we need to hold each other accountable and talk it out, and basically being open to saying, this is how I feel without offending you. And this is what's happening. How are you gonna sort it out? And that's it.
How do you, how do you guys manage the balance of work, marriage, and children? Because there are children in this family.
Absolutely. Rams, nothing beats planning. One of the things that I personally learned to do, and obviously I've really taken that from my corporate life, is to ensure that we have a clear plan of how our week is looking like. So basically knowing from Monday to Sunday, how many hours I'm spending exercising, how many hours are we going to spend being with the kids, helping them with their homework, what's the time that you're going to be taking in terms of doing the strategy and the planning, and ensuring that we sit down with each of our employees to ensure that tasks get done when the time is right. So
yeah. Okay, and I think one of the things that we struggled with, I think you were mentioning that when we were talking about fights, our part of our fights were as a result of us not spending enough time with our kids. So we were frustrated. Remember, we didn't just wake up and have employees and people to delegate. And so basically we had to do everything from scratch to finish. So when we got to corporate clients, we had to make sure that we plan, we attend the meeting, we do the food tasting, we come back, we prepare food for them at home at the time. Even though people were saying it's exciting, you're at home, you get to see your kids, but the reality, what they didn't see, you know, in the background is the fact that we wake up at 4 or 3, we start preparing, we leave early, the kids are still sleeping. We come back around 9, the kids are sleeping still, we leave again. And for a week, we would not see our kids. And you can imagine that what that would do to you. I mean, I'm frustrated, I'm despondent, he's frustrated, he's despondent, then we fight, then the kids are not happy. So it's kind of now that we've balanced, as Tumi said, the plan, you know, planning, ensuring that we bring people in with expertise, you know, skilled people to assist us while we basically, so we have a bird's eye view on our business instead of us working in the business. That's what we've done, basically. We might not have the full time. Yeah.
That's beautiful. So, you know, even when we try not to, all of us, COVID or before COVID or after COVID, all of us sadly bring work back home. We do that. Something that did not finish, you come back and finish it at home. How do you manage that? How do you take work back home, and how do you manage to let that not stress you even further than you are stressed?
He manages it very well. I don't. I still work from home. I still wake up at 4 and work. I mean, if you're my client, you know you'll find an email at 5 o'clock, it's in your inbox. To me, it's quite balanced in terms of, well, I'm balanced in terms of my gym schedule and trying to spend time with the kids. But the planning helps me where I don't stop working. Well, we have our firstborn daughter. Constantly, she's reading, she's doing her work. So we kind of forced to also, you know, adjust. And while she's doing that, we also do our work. But the little one, on the other hand, is the one who pushes us. We're not going to sit here and lie. She's the one who bring her 30 seconds and say, guys, let's play. And that's when we, you know, we try and sit together and do everything together, or when we're having lunch or dinner, breakfast or dinner. With Tumi, on the other hand, he doesn't like working. As soon as he's out of the office, he comes in here, he wants to relax. So he'll find every excuse not to work at home, which is great. I mean, you need balance. You need to ensure that you're still happy at the end of the day. That's one thing that I'm still trying to, learn.
Your business is not seasonal, and it certainly has no hours. How do you take a break? How do you factor switching off and taking time off for yourselves, for your children, for your family?
As you said, our business is not seasonal. We now and then squeeze in a day or two where we just go away, just to breathe a bit. But guess what? Having a workaholic as a wife and a boss, you know, we'll get you a vacation. She'll go take her photos, and guess what? We talk about business. You know, but that's not a good thing whatsoever, because I must say that has really led to, I can say, to some degree, success in terms of the business growing to where it is right now. So in a way, we do find that balance whereby, you know, I tend to do one of those whereby, let's take a bit of time, let's go to dinner, let's go away, and she be like, let's go work. But yet again, you cannot just focus on just going away. You still need to focus on still coming back, making the money, and growing the brand. So we find the balance. We find the balance.
What has been good? Nthabi saying, what has been good? What has been the one great up that you really are proud of about this husband and wife business?
Number one, I would say, as much as there are cash flow challenges in every small business at some point, as much as we're dealing with theft challenges, you said our business is a tricky one, and regulations and all those things. The one good thing is just having a partner working with you in the business. That I cannot take away or change. There's times when I'm stressed, he's up. When I'm down, you know, let's say I'm despondent, he will support me, and vice versa. And one of the things is that we are working, we know the money is coming home, you know. Unlike when you have a partner somewhere, you're complaining, you are not working yet, you're getting 50% share or 20% share. We don't have the share issue. So we know we are building wealth for the family. And another thing, the biggest thing for us that drives me personally, Rams, is the fact that we contribute to the economy. We have employed people, you know, that are working, even the ones who have left due to unforeseen circumstances or theft or whatever. But the fact that there is someone who wakes up and say, I am going to Well-Made, this is my workplace. You know, I'm going there to make money for my family. That, for me, Rams, is the reason why we wake up every day and fight despite the challenges. You know, and that's the reason why when you look at our social page, it's not because I don't want to post myself in a bikini somewhere in the beach. No, you see me posting every day. It's about Well-Made because it's about those people. You know, there was a point where we didn't earn salaries, but our people were earning salaries. Even though we're saying to them, guys, we are going through tough times. Even during COVID, they still earn their salaries. Despite large corporations closing down, we held it together, not because we have, but we were really fighting for them, whether they appreciate that or they don't, but we believe that's our purpose in life. So for me, that's the good. And the fact that we can see our kids now and be together, we can decide to take them to work, and we can also share the knowledge with other startup businesses to saying, this is how we got here. You know, we don't know the journey, but maybe you can even take it further. That, for me, that's me. That's the most.
I'm running out of time. I'm going to ask two last questions quickly. Tumi, would you do it again? You look back at what you've been through in the last 4 years. Would you do it again? You were asked again, reboot.
Absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would.
Imagine she's not sitting next to you now. Talk to me man to man.
Rams, to be quite honest, as I said, I would do it. And for me, I felt that we could have actually started it sooner. So instead of only leaving and joining the business full time 3 to 4 years, I felt that we should have started when the business was established on the 18th of September 2013. I think that's that we should have just taken the risk on that day to say, not we're doing this. We've done it for big corporates. We can do it for ourselves and our kids. Absolutely, we can.
Who's your PR coach? You're doing well. No, don't answer that question. I'm told you guys make smashing pizza burger. So finally, Nthabi, for that pizza burger, Mutalipula just said it now. Jose is the Teffo. I mean, people are crazy about what you do. So I haven't tasted your food. How do we get hold of you? How do people get to know about your amazing work and your food, and so that we can support you? Where do we find you?
So you can find us. I'll just mention the social media pages. We are on Well Made first. Facebook, it's Well Made. Instagram, it's well.made, and Twitter is Well Made SA. You can also visit our cafe. It is in Isando on Electron Road, 5 minutes from the airport. It's a nice working environment. You can have a meeting there. You can come there for a cup of coffee. We have food there. We have sandwiches. We have tramazinis there, and pizza burger, which I'll bring sometime for you, Rem. So yeah, that's where they can find us. Yeah, that's our. So the cafe is open Monday to Friday from 7 to 3:30. On weekends, people book our cafe for maybe book review, or just if they're celebrating a birthday. It is a private space for you, exclusively for the people who have booked on weekends.
Interesting.
So that's where we can be found. And we are on email as well, events at Wellmade, events with an S at wellmade.co.za. You can also contact sales at wellmade.co.za. And we call on all the large corporation, enterprise development, contact us. We're still here. COVID has not ended. Please, let's support one another. Let's help create those job opportunities. Yeah, the stats are going higher and higher. We don't want that.
Brilliant. And folks, MADE is M-A-I-D. It's not M-A-D-E. Remember, when you go look for Well Made, it's M-A-I-D. Nthabi and Tumi Teffo, it was wonderful chatting to you and getting to know about your business and your journey as a couple. Thank you for sharing the insights. I'm sure all of us have learned a lot, but most importantly, I hope all of us are going to come through your doors and support your business.
We'll be waiting, Rams. We'll be waiting.
We'll be waiting.
Have a great evening. And I mean it, have a great evening. You have tough days, so go back and have a very great evening in the other room. Thank you very much for joining us.
We're going to have great chats.
Absolutely.
So, thank you very much for everybody for joining us tonight. Please support Well Made. They are on all social media platforms. And I'm told you really have to taste that pizza burger. And I'm going to try and do it this week still. And I'll give you my own feedback right here. Tomorrow is the Rumble in the Jungle. And we're tackling a subject that has been painful for too many people. Do we still need our SOEs, or should we privatize them? So Kandani Msibi and Unati Kwaza will be joining me in the Rumble in the Jungle to say yay or nay to SOEs. I want your view too. Do contact us. We're all on platforms. You know us by now. I don't have to tell you how to find us. Do I? No, I don't have to. So I'm gone. From me, Rams Mabote, good night and God bless.